Hello and welcome back to part 2. So we're at the end of the mashing process. Now it's the sparge process, so yeah, that'll be fun. So let me take the lid off. To be fair, it smells amazing. I'll just turn this off now and let me get out this for putting over here. So yeah, this is the interesting part because one, I remember last time, this is blooming heavy. So the mash has been turned off and obviously it's the sparge time. Oof. So that worked out pretty well. Do you know when it was an imperial stout? Bloody hell, it was heavy. And the next time I do an MP, I'll make sure that there's somebody else in here with me, you know, just to help me out. Now, it's basically at 21 litres. So here's the interesting thing on here. It doesn't actually tell you how much you need to sparge. Now, obviously you've got to get to a certain level. So around about 27 litres I think it's got to be. And again, this to me is the weird bit, you know, coming from an extract kit background. And I know it says you've got to do it at 76 degrees. So I'm going to use my hot water tap again. It's not quite 76 degrees. But it will be about 65 degrees once it's warmed up, which is, you know, the same as mash temperature. And it's still dropping now. It's the weirdest thing for me, the sparge thing. How far do you sparge? How much does it go weaker if you sparge too much? I'm limited by the size of this anyway, so I can only go to about 27 litres anyway, and it's going to go down to about 23. It's going to boil off about 3 or 4 litres, I presume. Not 100% on that. So lift this up. Try not to get the water anywhere where I don't want the water to go. Right. It's about here, so it's around about 26, between 26 and coming up to 27. That is what I think it should be. And again, it doesn't tell you that on this. So yeah, that bit is strange to me. Now while that's doing, I will now put it on to boil, or at least get the temperature up. I find this a right fiddly task. And the good thing about doing it this way is, I mean, it actually looks pretty. It's got a nice look to the beer already, if I'm being absolutely honest. So, that looks like it's ready to be took off now. It's not dripping anymore. There's loads come out. I'm up here now. Obviously don't really want to be any further. And yeah. So. So that will go on the garden. I'm going to dig it into the garden. There's a bit of mulch. I find a spot to pop a hole open, chop it in, and let it rot down. You know. So we're at 65 degrees now. Obviously now I've got to get it up to boiling temperature. Yeah, so we've done the mash part, we've done the sparge part. Once your mash is complete, drain wort and sparge to obtain your pre-boil volume. This will vary by system and boil off rate. Again, the first time I did it, I think I did it on 23 litres. Didn't really sparge that much because I was thinking, put water in, it's going to weaken it down. Don't want to weaken it down. Me being me. So, let me just... just thought you don't put it in this early, do you? Right. I don't think you do anyway. No, because you don't touch the gravity until after the boil. Until you're going to put your yeast in. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the little things. I just forget to do little things. So 68 now. And obviously it takes a while for it to go up, so it's a bit of a ball waiting job. So obviously, when the boil starts, once boiling temperature, set your timer for 60 minutes. 15 minutes from the end of the boil. So the thing to do is, put your time there, whatever time that may be, 45 minutes, add 45 minutes onto that, that's when you put your first lot of hops in. And then another 5 minutes on from that, put the second lot of hops in. Oh no, sorry, 10 minutes on that. Forget about the protoflock, unless you're doing that yourself. 10 minutes, from 5 minutes from the end of the boil, add the hops too. And then once the 60-minute boil is complete, drop the temperature of the water to 80 degrees with your chiller. Then add in hop pack 3. So you've got to calm it, drop it to 80, then add hop 3. It's amazing how you have to add the hops at certain bloody temperatures. Who the hell did all this originally? Stir thoroughly, allow the hops to infuse for 10-15 minutes. You can periodically stir to ensure maximum hop extraction. Cool your water to pitching temperature of 20 C using your chiller. And that's what's in the sink. As you can see in the sink, there's my water chiller. So we're at 70 now. It's going to be a while, so I think I'll grab a beer while I'm talking. And yeah, I've been good so far. And yeah, so one of the cock-ups I did is I put the mash in, and instead of doing the mash, I went straight to boil. And yeah, didn't do the beer any good whatsoever. As you can imagine, turned out hazy, never really turned out any good. Is what it is on that, you know, it's all about living and learning. 72 degrees, so you know, this it takes a long while. You know, it's not all grain brewing is not a quick process. There's a lovely film on the beer now. Take a photo of it. So that's the beer at the moment, and as it's starting to get up to 73 degrees, so it's going to be a while. and then basically I'll show you it getting to boil temperature and show you it boiling, and then I'm gonna turn off the camera again and come back for what will be the last part, which is quite a part because there's quite a prolonged bit to this. It takes a while to cool it down, so I might split it again into another part, because chilling it down to 8 is one thing, that's not so hard. Chilling it down to 20, that's where it like 30 to 40 minutes, so there's quite the waiting time involved there, and it's not worth showing you that bit because you know it's as boring as sin, as this is really waiting for this to warm up. It is a boring part of the brew, and obviously in a brew in that sort of setting in a brewery, you'd be doing things like talking about beer and drinking beer and stuff like that, if you're lucky, you know, or cleaning even. Because obviously while this is no, yes, because you'd sparge it and then you'd transfer to the copper and then you'd warm it up like what we're doing here. So obviously that element I've took out the equation, because obviously being a brewer in the bag, I took the bag away, and yeah. So it's interesting. I dare say, you know, people look at this and think, God, that's a lot of bloody hassle. And there's I know there's lots of automated ways of doing brews. So, but you know, for a brew in the bag brew, it's a cheap system, like 110 quid or something at this cost. I can use it for normal fermentation, for beers, because what I'm doing tonight, once this is done in here, it's going to get transferred to my other fermentation bucket, and this one's getting washed out, and I'm going to do another brew tomorrow night. Not tonight, I'm not doing 3 in one go, blow my neck. And yeah, they'll go in there. I forgot where I was going there. Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, it's a pain to wait. The waiting is an absolute pain in the backside. So yeah, literally I started at 3 o'clock. It's already about 4:25. 4:30. So yeah, 4:30. "78 degrees, so it's warming up, you know, slowly but surely. Hence why I've kept the lid on. So it warms up as fast as. Obviously when it starts bubbling away, I'll take the lid off somewhat, and I'll have to put my fan on and open the window, otherwise the room will sweat like an absolute soldier, and yeah, and I'll get moaned out like hell. So yeah, 78% now, degrees now, so we're getting there. It'll warm the downstairs up a bit, which to be honest, it needs warming up, especially this damp. Especially in there, it's quite cold in the downstairs toilet. Ooh, I feel that cold in there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to. I mean, I took a reading, but obviously it's got to boil first, and obviously some of that's going to boil off, so it'll make it stronger. Well, hopefully. Yeah. So coming up to 80 degrees, so it's, you know, it takes time. It does in the brewery as well. It takes time. I've seen it in the breweries where to get up to boiling temperature, they only have one element on, and it took an age to get up there. So we're on 80 now, if you can actually see that on the camera. 80.1, so it's getting up there now. You can see where 25 is there. It looks like there's about 27. It's going down to 23, so I reckon I'll lose about 4 litres. I mean, it's hoping to get to 4.7%. So, yeah, 5% would be nice, you know, in the grand scheme of things. When last time I did it, it turned out amazing, and I was so happy with it. But so, if you're going to do all grain brewing and you've got one of these kits, it's all about time, isn't it? It takes time. You know, 5 to 6 hours. And obviously, I've put the grain brew bag outside. What I may do is when it starts to boil, actually go out, dig an hole, chuck the blooming stuff in a hole so it rots down quicker. Stops mice get into it as well, so it just rots in the soil. 81.7, bloody hell, it's about slow. Yeah, not a fast job. And obviously cooling the water down isn't a fast job either. That takes time. And again, it's so far down to the stage where it's 20 degrees. And obviously getting it down to 20 degrees, then chucking, looking for, you know, trying to get your gravity reading. So final gravity should be 1046. So I'm hoping that I've got that, you know, hoping. 82.5, so it's going up. So you can see, I'm actually glad now I've split these, because it's a lot of video to watch. And I'm sure that people along the way, they'll look and, you know, they'll think, right, yeah, I like what he's done there, or what maybe you don't like, you know. I mean, technically, while I'm boiling that, I could actually do the upper brew. Yeah, there's an idea. Actually do the upper brew and just leave that to ferment in there. Yeah. If you have the ability to keep the temperature control with a heat bow and ink bird, for example, then do so. You want to keep the temperature at 20 degrees, somewhere warm. Yeah, that's upstairs in our house. It's literally 19, 20 degrees all the time. You know, it's about as close as we're going to get. The shed in the summer months is brilliant, but then sometimes the shed's too hot. I mean, there's been days where the shed's above a really silly temperature. You come back and it's fermented the hell out of stuff, sometimes too quickly. So 84 degrees, we're getting to about 100. It's getting there, slowly but surely. They call me Shirley. Yeah. Oh, 85. So yeah, it's quite the slow job, isn't it? You know, and it just gives you that. In some ways, I hope that people look at these videos and think, oh yeah, I like this. I like the sound of this brewing a bag business, or they might think, do you know something? I think I'll just stick to all grain, to extract brewing, you know, brewing from a kit, because it's far easier. And in a lot of ways cheaper. But not always. You know, this is a lot of hassle, this is. But at the end of the day, you know, it's about the beer you want to produce. I don't want to go commercial. I don't need to go commercial or like that. But I understand it's the hassle of doing it against the easiness of doing a 40-minute kit. An extract kit which takes around at the maximum 40 minutes. And you think that if you was getting paid to do this, then this is it's a lot of hassle for what it is, isn't it? I suppose it's all about time and effort. So that's looking nice in there. I'm hoping I get the ABV. I mean, I mashed for the right amount of time. Done it as far as I know to the letter. So yeah, 88 degrees now. Bloody hell, it takes an age, doesn't it? 88.2. So we'll show the brewing process, and then I'll knock off and come back for the op heading. So that'll be 45 minutes of no so it's worth putting your times down on the paper so that you know, writing things down so you know, like for me, I started at 3:11, finished at 4:11, done the sparged water. Once your mash is complete, drain, done that, obviously, get it to the boil temperature, 60 minutes, or whenever that starts, then I know, and then I'm going to write down the time that I need to do that first one, the time that I need to do the second one 10 minutes later, and then obviously finish the boil, get it down to 80 degrees, add in hop free, let it infuse for 15 minutes. I can't remember infusing it for 15 minutes before, but I obviously did. Now obviously getting it down to 80 is the easy part because it goes down pretty quick, to be fair. Well, it actually does say transfer to fermenter with the yeast and pitch the yeast included. So actually you do transfer it. Okay, I've got the fermenter ready anyway. So that'll get rid of 3 of the bags, and then the 4th bag will go in at day 4. So these should bubble off, and a lot of it should just disappear into the brew, hopefully. So 90.6, and it does take an age. It feels like it takes an age anyway. I mean, it's 4:45 now, so we'll be 2 hours in. 91. Right, we're going there. I mean, I started this when I started it, and I reckon I'm looking at about 7, half 7 finish. By the time it's all wrapped up and ready to go, and everything's wrapped away, so I was meant to do it early this morning, but we had issues with the sink flooding. Something got loose under the sink and flooded under the sink. So yeah, all good. And obviously the wife needed the kitchen as she normally does for cakes. So yeah, it is what it is. It's a Sunday afternoon. I won't do an hotel apart from sitting down watching TV, probably falling asleep a little bit. But hey ho. Yeah. So 92 now. It's we're going there. Slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. Yeah, I've said that before, haven't I? Yeah. So I'll show the brewing process. I'll show it on my little phone and not this phone. Reason because if I move this phone and it clicks off, then I've wasted that last little bit of the, of that part of the story. For the 7th anniversary of Wraggys Beer Reviews, I'm going to brew a beer for that. An Impy Stout, brew an Impy Stout on this kit. And see how that goes. $93.5. Well, we're going there slowly. Quarter to. So I reckon by about 10 to 5 minutes should be there. Hopefully. You see me having to go down to the shed and come up and do a beer review while I'm stood in here, because then I can watch the boil going and keep an eye on things as you do. It'll be a damn sight warmer in here than the shed, which is probably another good reason for doing a beer thing in here. So 94, we are getting there now, thankfully. It's getting a nice head on it as well now, it's looking good. And it's that thing, as boring it is as it is waiting, that's how it is when you go to a brewery. You're there and you think, God, it's bloody slow, isn't it? And it takes the same amount of time, because obviously this is only a small, like at the most 30 litre kit, and those kits are going to be anything up to, I don't know, well, it depends on the brewery. There could be mega litres involved. You imagine trying to get them. I mean, that's bad enough trying to do 30 litres. I haven't used this now for, I think it was sometime last year when I last used it, probably early last year. I think the last one I did was the St. Austell kit, and the Proper Job clone, and that didn't really work out. The beer in itself was nice, but the amount of effort to do it, I just didn't rate it. And obviously, I'm hoping this turns out good. I'm hoping beyond hope. Oh, 95.9, flipping heck. I suppose you could, if you had the ability and a big pan, you could do it on a stove and have a big pan and have a thermometer and just keep it. But then again, you've got to try and control it. It's not as easy. For me, this is a good way of doing it. It's not too hard to know what it's doing. I mean, when it starts bubbling, obviously then we know it's boiling for obvious reasons. It's a 96.3 now. So going up rather nicely. kind of glad the live died. I was trying to do a live, but it was saying to me about the camera angle. It won't go any further because of the camera angle, and I'm like, oh, I'm not playing around. So hence why I just knocked it off. But there you go. It is what it is. So 97 nearly coming up to, and yeah, slowly. Blimey heck. It's amazing because when you have to drop it from boiling to 80, it drops down ever so quickly. So now it's just cracked to 97, so we all go in there. Oh, lovely. It's just starting to get a nice head on it as well. So I presume the sugars are turning, you know, that starts the sugar turning to alcohol business. Bit concerned about the gravity not being high enough, but obviously it's going to boil off, so hopefully that'll bring it down. Hopefully that'll raise the gravity. You know, there's so much been boiled off. Hopefully. I shall see. So you can see. Whilst I kind of like doing this, but I also like doing the easy way, doing it via kits, because the time spent is nothing. 30 minutes compared to this sort of time, which is hours. It's right when you've got the time to do it. I mean, I brewed this before, and it's a way for me to get back into it and just to see if I can, you know. But it does feel alien to me that going from extract to this. And it's all well and good if you can brew something that you can't do on a normal kit, then by all means I think this is the better way. But if you can do something on a normal kit and play around with kits, then in some ways it's so much easier. 98.5. So 39 minutes. At least this gives people watching this a chance to see, you know, oh, bloody hell, that's not for me. Or you think, no, you know something, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind the, because there's a chill factor involved. Obviously, there's a bit of lifting in that. You know, you've got to get your numbers right. And there are so many kits out there. I mean, you can brew beers that from breweries. For me, if I'm going to brew anything but a stout, I'll brew a hazy beer. I won't go down the route of brewing anything that needs to be clear, because I've done that twice, and twice it never really turned out as it should have done. Dark beers seem to be okay, and dark beers seem to be dead easy from this all grain. Hazy beers seem to be all right. The clear beers and putting finings in and all that stuff, it's more of a hassle than anything. What? Hey? All right. Yeah, it's more of a hassle. So. You want? Nosy dog. Yeah, go in there. You're a nosy dog. Hey, shh. Go in there, Puppet. Go in there, Pepper. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. You're pissed off now. She knew I was going to pick her up. Oh dear. So yeah. Yeah, starting to bubble. You can see it bubbling now. 100. A crappy 100. So with that, you press the P button, you go up or down, and then you press the P again, and that's what it goes down to. Still eating now. Get it to 102, because that's what I read before somewhere about 102. Although it just says boil there. So just give it that a little bit longer. It smells amazing. I've just got to wait for it to click in there. There you go, 101's just come on. So I'm not sure if it's got to go to 105. So let me just Google that for a second. With it not saying on there, I'm a bit curious. What's boil temperature? Well, 100 degrees is supposed to, so 102 should be enough. Just give it a couple more minutes just to fill in, and I think then we'll set the timer. I'll go to the shed and go get myself a beer. When it reaches 102, I'm good for that. Yeah, it's moving around now. You can see it moving around. So, oh, it's all the waiting, isn't it? Waiting. To be honest, you know, if you look at kits, and I do look at kits, extract kits, and I look at the the 102. So we're there. So time is 4:57. So 4:57. So 5:42. And then 10 minutes later, 5:52. And 5:57. Right. Yeah, you can see the steam coming up now. So, oh yeah, kicking in a treat now. There we go. Open the window. Something's fell out. And here's a picture of the boil. And there it is, it's boiling away. So, I'll knock off the phone for a bit, come back at 5:42, and we're back on. Cheers all.